What's up, YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter here. I'm going to do a quick recap of the live stream that we did on Friday afternoon, just simply because we found so much silver, and I know a lot of people couldn't make it because, well, I didn't advertise it for very long. So I wanted to go through all the finds because we did find a lot of silver. Let's get to it. So the first thing you guys need to know is that we didn't find anything in the box on the left. So we're going to just jump right on to box number 2. So you're going to find that I do quite a bit of voiceover on this because my live stream, my cell phone was having trouble connecting to my Mac, so the audio connection kept dropping like every 2 or 3 seconds. And for those of you that made it all the way through like this 2-hour plus live stream with that happening, man, I applaud you because I don't know if I could do it. And I figured out what was causing it, so we won't have that again. So what we're doing here is we're weighing the very first roll that came out of this box, and as you'll see, it weighs up at 226 grams, which means we have a very high likelihood that this very first roll in this second box has silver in it. Let's check it out. First find, 1968, 40% silver. So our second find here was a 2008 NIFC, and I'm not going to pull you guys in for each one of these NIFCs. I'm going to cut to the chase. We found 22 of those by the end of the stream. I'd rather focus on the big silver. So at this point, we found 4 total NIFCs. My daughter's weighing a roll, and we have it up at 226.5 grams, which means there is likely some good silver in this roll. She's going to get it open here, and we are going to find that we actually have 2 silvers. 1964 and a 1968. So that's pretty awesome. You know, we're probably 4, 5, 6 rolls in, maybe 8 rolls in at this point. So this is our first miscellaneous of the box. I was shocked by the edge. It looked like it was going to be silvery, and it ended up being one of those gold-plated counter-struck like 1983 or 85 half dollars. Kind of a neat find. I've never found one that's counter-struck before. But also it wasn't silver, so I was a little bit disappointed. So I think this was the very next roll. We ran into our very first proof. This was a 1999 S clad proof. In okay shape. It wasn't as frosty as I normally like them, but hey, it's a proof, so we're going to hang on to it. So it was shortly after this we started calling my daughter Magic Hands because she seemed to find everything. As you'll see here, she's going through and she cherry picks out of thin air a 1967 40% silver half. And she didn't see it by the edges, and this is why I like to sit close to her and I often look over her shoulder. She really enjoys doing this and I don't want to discourage her, so I was happy she was finding stuff. So this next roll was one of the suspect ender rolls. And I'm getting into it, and you're going to see here, we find not 1 silver, we find 2 silvers. So this first one we pull out is a 40% silver. I think it's a 1967. And then we're going to dig into the middle of this one, and we have a 1964D 90% silver. So that ends up being our second 90% silver on the box. It is our 4th 40% silver. Things in this box are going really, really well. So no sooner could I get this 64D silver put down in the stack, my daughter opens up the next roll, and wouldn't you know it, she comes across another proof. Again, another one for Magic Hands, and this one is, it might be the first bicentennial S-clad proof I've ever found coin roll hunting. So another pretty cool find. So the very next roll my daughter gets into, as we called her Magic Hands, she's reaching in there and pulling out another silver. This time, though, it ends up being, I believe, a 1967. Something else that was funny is I didn't notice she was just pulling out NIFCs like crazy and just dumping them up there. And, I mean, at this point, I think we maybe had 10 or 11 NIFCs. And it was kind of starting to get hard to keep track of. Like I said, we get to 22, and you can watch that stack on the right-hand side grow. So now we're jumping forward several rolls, and I get one open, and to my surprise, we find a double. This time it ends up being two 40%ers, so we take our total up to, I believe, 7 40%ers on the box. And this is pretty exciting. We don't find a lot of doubles down here, so we love doubles, and there they are. So we're going to jump forward yet another roll or two, and Magic Hands here on the right opens up a roll, and almost an ender, we find a 1969 40%er. And there it is. So again, we're going to jump forward a couple of rolls, and my daughter is getting into her roll, and she gets that white line that we all want to see. It's an obvious 90%er, but it's a little bit thin. And when we have thin and white, it's going to be a walker or possibly a foreign, and we're hoping it's a walker. And before we get into her roll, I wanted to check out mine to see if we had competing silvers, and look at that white line. I was super stoked for this white line. I thought we were going to have 2 silvers, and let's see how this played out. As expected, Magic Hands over here pulls in a walker, and I somehow managed to pull a painted silver coin. Talk about disappointing on my side, but hey, you can't be mad about pulling a walker out of a circulated box of $50. So here we are again several rolls later, and as I'm getting this open, we have a thick clad line, and we end up with another S-clad proof, and it is our second bicentennial clad proof. And actually this one looks a little bit nicer than the first one. So for never having found one, at least I don't remember finding one, we found 2 in this box. So here we are several rolls later, and Magic Hands over here on the right opens up another roll and finds another double. Keep in mind, up until now, or maybe this last box that I did recently, I hadn't found a double ever. And this is now the second double, I believe, or maybe even the third double of this box. Now this turns out to be 2 40%ers, a 1967, and I believe a 1967 and a 1968. Putting our 40% total up to 10. You can also see that the NIFC count has grown to, I believe this is now 21 or 22. We've had to stack them because the caterpillar was getting to be a little bit too long. And wouldn't you know it, her very next roll, she opens that thing up, goes through it really slowly, and comes across a 1973 S clad proof. So that makes, I believe, 4 proofs on the box. So we've reached another one of those rolls that looked like it had an ender in it, so we went ahead and weighed it, and as you could see there, it came up to 226.8 grams. If you were somebody who's been weighing rolls, you know that is pretty indicative of either multiple silvers in a roll, or you've got some 90%ers in there. And we get this roll open, and we're looking for that nice, thick, fat, white line that just says 90% silver. And when we pick this roll up, have a look, that is exactly what we have. But we also have, remember, an ender. So this roll was yet another double. We end up with a 1968 40% silver, as well as a 1964 I believe it's a D, but maybe not. It doesn't really matter. But a 1964 90% silver. And that ends up being our 4th on the box. So like a roll later, my daughter finds a really, really nice 1998. I believe it's a Denver. It looks like it, to me, it came out of a mint set because it's just a beautiful, shiny coin. And of course, while I'm admiring my potential proof set coin or mint set coin, she finds yet another 40% silver, a 1968, to add to the bunch. And that takes us up to, I believe, 12 40%ers on the box. So we made it through the whole box. This I just posted a box the other day called, like, you know, my most epic box on my silver journey or something to that effect. And the funny thing is, the very next day during this live stream, we found an even bigger and better box. So all in all, it was a really good couple of days hunting half dollars. Probably the best of my entire YouTube and coin roll hunting journey, time, experience, whatever you guys would like to call it. Here you can see the recap of things. You can also read it across the bottom, but we ended up with 4 proofs. We had 4 90 percenters, with one of those being a walker, and we had 12 40% silvers along with 22 NIFCs, 2 counter-struck gold coins, and a painted silver coin. So all in all, this thing was a ton of fun. And I really do apologize, even going back and trying to do this voiceover and rewatching these clips, the audio and the video was just really, really bad and really choppy. And, you know, my Mac was having a problem with the USB port, and it was causing problems with OBS, the software I use, and I have since figured out how to make that stop. So in future streams, hopefully we won't see that again. And for those of you that have made it this far in the video, I'll let you know there were 3 or 4 guys that made it to the end of this stream, and I went ahead and did a giveaway and gave away one of the 40% pieces that we found. So in the future, if I do a live stream and we do have good finds like this, or maybe even just 3 or 4 finds, I'll likely give something away to those that hang out and make it through the whole stream. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this recap. I hope it wasn't too slow and too boring, but going back and watching this choppy live stream is going to be very, very difficult for you, and I thought it would be good of me just to recap the finds as they came through. So if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave me a comment down below. If you've been a subscriber for a long time, hey, I really appreciate you guys coming to the channel and checking out content every time I post it. So with that, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.